So an overview of what I'll be talking about today is what is cloud computing, the different types of cloud computing, which are private, public, and hybrid, and the security questions that arise when talking about public cloud computing, as well as the benefits of cloud computing and real-life examples that are relevant in our lives today. So what exactly is cloud computing? Cloud computing is an internet-based computer service, which is an alternative system to what companies would use as what they would quote in-house. So this is kind of different computing that happens outside of businesses. So anything that's on the internet that's a type of software is kind of what cloud computing is. So if you wanted to type a document but didn't have software on your computer to do that, you could go on the internet and that type of document like maker would be cloud computing. So private cloud computing is what majority of single-based companies use. This is so that they can ensure their security and ensure immediate IT service, but also provide immense security so that their documents will not be brought out and public to anyone that wants to access them. Whereas public cloud computing, with anyone with the internet access, is able to access the public cloud. You don't have to purchase as much hardware or software. So if you have a phone and you're able to connect to internet on that phone, you're able to connect to the public cloud, which means that you don't necessarily need your laptop or your tablet or any other type of internet-based hardware. And this is normally owned and managed by an overall CEO of the company or provider, which means that the updates and the warranties and the storage all comes down to who owns it rather than your individual hardware. A hybrid cloud is a type of cloud that combines public and private. And this allows privacy, but it allows the same accessibility that the public cloud gives. So this is normally what businesses turn to because it allows them to outreach their marketing as well as communication, but ensures the privacy of their secret files. So this is kind of just a figure that shows the difference between the public and private cloud again. And private cloud is usually an individual-based company, and this is just like a single outreach. They just want to talk to each other, their employees, their managers, whereas public cloud is anyone with internet accessibility globally, throughout your country, your town, anyone with the internet can access the public cloud. Where, again, as I've said before, security hybrid is a combination of both. It ensures privacy and ensures accessibility, which is what most businesses turn to. So with public cloud computing, there are many questions among the security. So kind of how to explain that is anything you put on the internet will be on the internet forever, which means you kind of have to make the conscious choice of the document that you're typing. If you don't want anyone to see it, then you kind of have to suffer the consequence and purchase a software that ensures privacy rather than a public cloud sharing ability, which it won't always be like this. And there are companies right now that are trying to innovate and create and invent new public cloud opportunities with security. But as of now, there are hackers, there are people, they're the CEOs of the company that you kind of make the conscious choice that a public cloud is public and you're putting your document, your presentation, your slides on the internet. So a couple benefits of cloud computing. Large mass amounts of data can be stored. So where most of our laptops have a data storage cap, whether it's 500 gigabytes or 1 megabyte, cloud computing does not. So you can have as many documents, as many slides, as many presentations, spreadsheets as you can even imagine can be stored on the cloud computing system and with no charge, which means you save on hardware and you save on software as well. And this makes marketing for business easier because they can put something on the public cloud and it reaches out to everybody with internet access, which is increasing our ability and efficiency to create new things. So as I've mentioned a little bit before, you don't have to buy as much hardware and software. And where this hurts a couple businesses that provide those services, it creates more of accessibility and kind of opportunity for people using the cloud. And our society is turning very fast to cloud computing. And basically, if you have an internet device, you're able to type up a document and share it with almost the world. So this gives more flexibility for creativity and innovation and inventions to arise, because with global access at the touch of our hands, you can communicate with other countries and create new things and be constantly talking and innovating and creating at the touch of a button. Whereas with software, you would have to go through the havoc of face-to-face kind of conversation or traveling, or like global access was not always as easy without the internet and without cloud computing ability. So a real life example that I've been saying much throughout the presentation is Google Docs. I'm actually using Google Docs right now I created my presentation in Google Docs, and I'm using Google Docs Hangout to present this to you today. So this is a prime example of cloud computing. I can create PowerPoints, I can create documents, I can create spreadsheets, all on the internet, and none of this is being saved to my specific laptop. Amazon. Amazon has millions and millions and millions of customers, as well as millions and millions of product. Well, they need large mass amounts of data to store customer details, as well as product delivery expectation and the location of packages. And Amazon is very well known for cloud computing because they're globally delivering and globally communicating product and consumer. So within many companies, not just in St. Louis, but around the country, around the world, Amazon is being used, Microsoft, Google, Rackspace, IBM. There are smaller companies that are turning to bigger cloud computing systems that is creating the ability for communication and growth within. And businesses such as Microsoft, who are known for selling software, are taking a slight hit in the market, but are also dabbling into creating cloud computing themselves and being very successful in that. So to conclude what I've kind of said throughout this presentation, there's 3 different types of cloud computing. There's public, hybrid, and private. Public allows accessibility, but you have to be consciously aware of what you're putting on the internet. Private gives you the security, but not accessibility. And hybrid is a combination of both that a lot of companies find to be successful. So, as I've said, as a common theme throughout this presentation, security will be questioned when you use a public cloud. Whatever you put on the internet, people are bound to see, and this is kind of a conscious choice you have to make. And while new things are being updated and created, as of now, everything needs to be a conscious decision. Cloud computing is prevalent everywhere. Big name companies that you've all heard of, Amazon, Google Docs, Google Chrome, Microsoft, IBM, Oracle, are all well known throughout our country and even the world, and these are some of the biggest names in cloud computing. Thank you for listening to me. I hope you learned something about cloud computing.